Hey guys, so your project for the week is going to be something called a pictogram. I'm going to do a demo on how to do it, but your question for today is what movie are you doing for the pictogram? Okay, I will fill more information in this later. Right now, your requirements are going to be a drawing slash image simplified, the title of the movie, white slash gray background, main cast, 3 to minimum, and I'm going to show you some of the examples if they load. So the really cool thing about this is it's super simple. Like you're literally just doing silhouettes and you're doing simple fonts, simple titles, things like that. I'm going to pull up what an actual pictogram is. And they're really, if you look at them, they're literally just simple things that you can immediately identify what that object is. It has some sort of, representation throughout the world that if you were to go, to a different country that they don't speak the same language as us, you would know what that means. That's what pictograms typically are. Okay, so it's something that's very well known. And you can see like all these different pictographics. This means taxi, this means food, this means coffee. Okay, so that's what we're going for with this type of thing if we're making it so simple that you know how to represent it. I'm going to show you how to use actually a different tool in Photopea that does apply in Photoshop as well as Illustrator. Now, I really wish we could do Illustrator, which it's killing me because that's where I usually do this project. All right, so as you can see here, there's an artist. His name was Victor Hertz, and he did these pictogram movie posters. So he did them all in this style of the pictograms. And this is Psycho. Okay, Victor Hertz right here. He did graphic design and film together. You got Boogie Nights. You know that it's a simple person with a roller skate. Rosemary's Baby. You can see literally simple. It's crazy how simple it is. Spider-Man. Tron. Up in the Air, which I love that movie. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Jaws. This is a pretty simple one to recreate. Inception. Leaving Las Vegas. Thank You for Smoking. The Exorcist. Okay, so those are some examples. I'll post that link if you would like to look at it. So I'm going to go to File, New. I do have a photo that I'm going to work from. I'm doing Monsters Inc. because I've been on a kick with that recently. I don't know why, but I have. So my width is 15. I'm going to do my height 15, so I'm going to do a square. I'm going to still do a transparent background because I want to have some control over my background. Then I'm going to do File, Open. And I saved a file somewhere to my computer. I just have to figure out where I put my folders at that I can use. And you can do this too. So, like, I have this photo of Mike Wachowski. And what I'm going to do to make this easier, I'm going to go to my pen tool right here. Okay, so pen tool. The biggest thing, you don't want the fill to be red. You want it to be black. Okay, and the stroke, if you want a stroke, you can do that. Just means there's an outline. You don't need to worry about that. Okay, so it's going to make a shape. That's the biggest thing. You don't want it to make a path. You need it to make a shape. Now, what happens? Oh, let me go back. What happens? All I need to do is follow the outline and trace him. Okay, and I'm coming around, and I know it looks like it's kind of funky right now because it's not necessarily following everything because you can see it's going on the outside. But once we get to finishing this up and you get all the way around, what'll happen is it'll become more concrete and it'll fill in the center space. It doesn't have the space to fill in currently, so you got to do what you got to do and get around it. And I know it becomes hard to see. That is the only thing. So if this is becoming an issue for you, you can always go into stroke here and just change it to a color, and you can get rid of your fill so that you can see what you're tracing. Okay, that might help you along the way. I know, like right now, when you get to this point, it's like, oh my God, how am I supposed to, you know, finish this, go around because you can't see what you're doing. But if you need to, you can always change it to stroke instead of fill. And then when you're done, you can come back. Now, normally, if I was an illustrator, you'd have the way to change the points to make them round. I do not believe Photopea has the functionality. So if things are a little sharper than normal, that's perfectly fine. And guys, all I'm literally doing is clicking. And I'm just following and I'm doing clicks as much as possible. Okay. That way it's simple and it's easy to trace. And then my last one, and I connect it and it becomes a shape. Now, at that point, what you can do is you can change that fill back to black. And look, we know who that is, right? And I can get rid of the stroke again. We know who that is. Okay, so no stroke. Oh, and do get my fill back. And voila, we know that's Mike Wazowski. Now, Let's see if we can figure out the path. Like I said, I'm not sure with the path that you can change it in here, and I've not seen it anywhere on here. I know where exactly it is on Photoshop and Illustrator. You know what I mean? It's a little bit easier to work with. I don't know if the free pen will let you. No, the free pen will let you draw if you want to draw anything. But normally the pen has something up at the top that'll let you change it from round to sharp or vice versa. And I do not see anything like that on here, so I don't believe that it's a possibility, unfortunately. I want to double check some of these things. I had looked before, but I could not find it. And I'm, always hoping like, oh, if I go back, maybe I'll find it. And I do not see it until where? No. Okay. So I'm not even going to worry about that. So once you have that, okay, you have your shape right here. You can do Control A, Control C, and then go to your new project and Control V. And it only transferred right now the points. I want to make a new layer real quick. Make sure. I'm just going to let go with my arrow here. Control A, Control C, Control V, and it's still not filling it in. Okay. The one thing you can do if it's becoming an issue is you can fill it back in with the paint bucket tool. Okay. And it's still not transferring. Usually this transfers. I don't know if it's because there's an extra shape down here and it's not letting me. But we'll have to see if I can. Because you can move them. Look, you can move them. That's the cool thing. Get rid of this guy. So I got my shape here. And let's copy. Control C. And then let's try one more time. I need to get rid of this lock. There we go. And I think we need to make a new project layer. Sometimes at my computer, even Photopea does the same things that, Photoshop does, unfortunately. So sometimes you have to work with what you got, and it's still not doing it. I don't know why. And this is usually like, if worst comes to worst, you just do it on this file and you get rid of the background here, right? And the selected area is not empty. Oops. Make sure you're on the right layer. Okay, worst comes to worst, you just do it on the image you started on. Okay, I don't know why it's not letting me copy over today. Normally it does. It's very weird. Just make sure you're on the right layer. Okay, and then I can still do my Control-Shift-T to resize. If it's not letting you edit, you can go to layer and you can make it rasterized so that you can edit it and becomes just a plain shape. So then I do my Control-Shift-T. And now if I hold Shift, it'll keep it even. Okay, hit Enter. Okay, and then what I want to do is I'm put a new layer, make a box for Monsters Inc. Okay, change my size to 50 or maybe even a little bigger. I might want to do like 75. My font can stay black. I can change the font, but it should be something simple. Don't go crazy. Like just pick something that's not going to be, too crazy. Put that on top and on the bottom. Then I would put my text box again. I can put the director and I would change the size and then my actors. Okay, and you just need to do, I'm going to change it to like 50, maybe a little bit smaller actually. Hold on. 20. Yeah. And then I would put the director's name and actor's names there and voila. Okay. The last thing you would do is you would make a new layer. You would drag it below above the background. If you'll let me get rid of my background, good. And then all I have to do is go to my paint bucket tool. Okay. Check my color, make sure it's the color I want, which it should be white. And then you can fill it in if it lets me. Maybe not. Because it's right now. I'll show you what it's doing. I think it's my computer and the program I opened up. You can see it's just creating a shape there. But if you want to go in when you start and make it a blank, white background, that's perfectly fine. I'm going to get rid of that. My computer is not, it's been struggling from using it so much, so I'm not even going to worry about that right now. Just remember to save it when you're done. Okay, save it as a PSD and then export it as a JPEG. Alrighty. Hope you guys are doing well. Just a reminder that anything that you haven't made up yet is due by Friday for this quarter specifically. We can give some credit afterwards, but it would not be full credit. And then I believe around June 11th, I don't know the exact date yet, is going to be like one of your last assignments, and any work after this week this upcoming week that you do. So like the last 2 weeks of June will be due around that time. I know that. Okay, I'm not planning on doing anything too crazy. I only have a few things left with you guys. I'm going to have you do a magazine cover for one of your last projects, and then something like design in real life. So you'll get to pick kind of like what you want to do for that. Those are the last two most likely that you'll be doing. All right, guys, hope you're doing well. The last thing I want to say is I would love to do like a goodbye Zoom since I didn't get to see you guys at the end of the year. And I'll figure out the details with that probably like the last week of school or something. Okay, hope you're all well. See you later. Bye.